Life sometimes come at you fast. Tragedies make your life unravel. You feel like you wanna give up and stay knocked down. Even when your heart is shattered, you still got a life to live. You still got a life to live, so don't give up. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles, so don't give up. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles, so don't give up.
According to Wikipedia, grief is defined as deep sorrow, especially that caused by someone's death. Grief is really such an interesting emotion. Other words that can describe grief are misery, sadness, anguish, distress, agony, suffering, heartbreak. Grief is a natural response to death. And grief doesn't always have to be associated with a loved one's death. It can be from the loss of a job or a pet, divorce, maybe even a life-altering diagnosis. There are many, many different ways that people deal with grief. Some people shut down. Some people drink or use drugs. Some people bury themselves in work. Some people dive head first towards acceptance and healing. Some people stay stuck. The point is that everyone deals with grief and loss differently, and there is no wrong way, and there is no timeline. You would never tell someone how they're supposed to love another person, so why do we feel like it's okay for us to tell people how they should or shouldn't grieve? Grieving is messy. We just don't know what is normal, and everything feels off kilter. Grieving takes up so much energy, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Grief truly is a full body experience. So many people have been either taught to stifle their grief because it's socially unacceptable to grieve for too long or too openly. And we question ourselves a lot. Are we grieving the right way? Are we grieving the wrong way? We often worry if people don't want to be around us because we're too sad, and it's too hard for a lot of people. We fight with ourselves because being too happy or laughing makes us feel guilty. We're trying to make sense of something that just doesn't make sense in our minds. There's a lot of anxiety around dates, birthdays, anniversaries. Sometimes we feel like we can't share our true feelings in fear that we're going to be judged or shunned. The thought of healing after the death of my child sounded totally crazy when I first began my journey with child loss. I didn't want to, and I couldn't fathom that it was a possibility. I just want to make it clear, I will never get over the loss of my child. I'm on a journey of learning to carry my grief and my love for my child at the same time of having joy also. I was lucky enough to hear that this was a choice and even a possibility the day after my son died. Our pastor drove from Oklahoma and sat in our living room and imparted some words on us that really shaped the trajectory of my journey. I knew right then and there that I would do everything I could to honor my precious child and tell his story. I really did want to learn how to carry both my grief and joy at the same time, but I didn't know how, and it felt completely impossible. I desperately tried anything and everything I could to avoid feeling the pain that the loss of a child brings.
I'm thankful that I didn't have anything that was really serious, but I mean, I had a few more little heart issues, but I feel like I was always trying to deal with the stress of things.
Yeah.
I feel like I have kind of my own awakening of how to manage it, so I tried to face it as quickly as I could.
Right.
One example is the image and the flashback of discovering his body.
Yes.
I had some therapists that would recommend try to flip the image or something, and I thought, I know this is going to sound crazy, but if the Buddhists believe in sitting in the fire, maybe there's a reason my body is trying to bring it up. Maybe if I face it, maybe it'll be better. I can't believe that I did it, but I made the decision because it was driving me insane. And when I finally decided, okay, I'm just going to face it and sat in it, and now I'm not going to talk about how hard that was. But it did. I feel that it got me through something,
Yes.
and now I can still see the image. I can revisit it to some degree. It'll probably still, but the pressure of all that, it dissipated a lot.
Wow.
So there's something to facing it head on and going for it that I think is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you have a support system, if we can be authentically supportive, we can make it.
It can be done.
It can be done.
It's
and I
not
recommend
easy.
it's
Yeah.
not easy, and I do recommend it. So you have to you have to feel it to heal it. I believe that really, unfortunately, is just kind of the way it is.
And we as a society, we want to run away from
We do.
everything that
We do.
hurts. We don't want to be uncomfortable with certain subjects, so we just don't talk about it. And it's like, we can't keep doing that. It's not working.
Yeah. And I would add to it, I think that if I did not do that, if I chose to run, which is an easy temptation, I don't judge anybody who does,
Absolutely.
I do believe my health would have been worse.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Ivan.
This is my son, Ivan Schmidt. You guys have heard me talk a lot about him, and he's joining me today because who better to tell you some of the things that he's experienced and that have helped him than Ivan himself. So this is his first podcast, and he's very excited and a little nervous. Do you think it's going to help you feel a little bit better?
What?
Doing EMDR.
It already does.
Really? All right. That's what I like to hear. Well, that's good. What do you think started out making you scared about things? What was the really big thing that happened in our life?
Huh?
What happened to your brother?
He died.
That's sad, and we miss him, don't we?
I thought everybody knew that.
Well, anyone who knows us knows that, but there's sometimes people that don't know us that might be listening to this podcast.
We'll figure it out and want to follow us.
Oh, okay. Look at you. All right, I like it. Has there been anything else that's happened in your life that's made you scared?
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, what about when your dad was sick?
Oh no. Actually it did but I was in preschool at that time.
Right. And so were you worried that he was going to die?
I really didn't know about that stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to understand when you're just a little guy, isn't it?
I was in like 4.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe 4.5.
Yeah, I think so. Well, is there anything else that you want to say about going to therapy? Like, is it awesome?
When I get to play
Yeah.
with the toys.
Do you think it helps you?
Yeah.
I know it helps you. It helps me too. So if there's anybody out there that think that their child has something that they're really maybe a little bit scared of, do you think that they should do EMDR?
If they want to.
Exactly, if they want to.
We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles. We are beautiful miracles. So don't give up. Don't give